everybody. Welcome back to Sandy's house, where ingredients and taste meet. And B and I are back with another recipe for you, but we're going to shift a little bit tonight from something savory to something sweet. We're going to do a little flambe action in the kitchen tonight.
What is flambe?
So flambe is adding alcohol to a hot pan and then setting it on fire.
So we're gonna add alcohol. We're gonna taste the alcohol.
We're gonna add some alcohol to a caramel sauce that we're gonna make. But the great thing about when you cook with alcohol is the heat cooks out the alcohol. So we might not taste a whole lot of rum, but it is gonna be delicious, and it's gonna give this dramatic effect that we're gonna have a little fun with.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just don't set me on fire.
I'll try not to.
So we're gonna take some bananas and put them in a caramel, add a little rum to that, set it on fire. And we're gonna make a toasted macadamia nut cookie with some white chocolate, and then we're gonna put some ice cream on top of that, add our banana caramel, and B is gonna be working on a caramel candy art that's going to go in our dessert, and it's going to make it look really, really pretty.
Yeah, so it's going to be real pretty.
So we got a lot going on tonight. Some of it we have never done before, so we are going to be doing this together. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start our fire on low. And B is going to work on our caramel candy art. And she's gonna add 1 cup of sugar to the pot and a 1/4 cup of water. And she's gonna stir that together until the sugar dissolves. The sugar is gonna make some liquid too. So she's gonna stir that together until the sugar...
Not enough water?
It's gonna dissolve because the sugar is gonna become watery. Right? Okay, so you're just going to keep stirring that until you don't see any more sugar, until it's all clear. Once it's clear, she's going to just leave it alone and let it bubble up, and it's going to turn to a pretty amber color, and that's what we're looking for. Once she gets that amber color going, she's going to take it off the heat and go over here to her seal pat, and she's got a spoon, and she's just going to make some different designs. It's going to harden, and that's what's going to be our candy art on top of our, I think I'm going to call this banana flambe macadamia white chocolate cookie supreme. That's what we're going to call it.
Who's going to say all that?
Well, hopefully it'll make it to somebody's menu one day. You can just say, I want that. So you're just going to keep doing that until it's clear, okay? And once it's clear, then you're gonna crank up the heat till about medium, and it's gonna crystallize and start turning that amber color really quick. Now the other thing you want to do, you see how these sugar crystals are forming along the side? You're gonna take your water paintbrush. She's got some water here with a paintbrush, and she's gonna brush down these crystals so that they incorporate back into so they caramelize with the rest of the sugar. Because if she allows them to linger on the side, they'll burn. So she's just gonna keep every time she sees those little sugar crystals forming alongside the pan here, she's just gonna take her water and brush those back down into the pot. Okay?
Gotcha, girl.
Good. So while A&B is working on her candy art, I am going to move over here and get started on our macadamia nut cookie. So in my bowl here, I have 1 stick of melted butter. I'm going to add, now this is supposed to be a chewy macadamia nut cookie. Normally you would start with softened butter and your sugar and your stand mixer, but this recipe calls for melted butter. So I've got 1 stick of melted butter. I've got 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. So we're going to add that here. And then I'm gonna get it all mixed up and incorporated together. And then after I've got my sugar and my butter all incorporated together, I've got a few little brown sugar lumps here. I'm gonna try to flatten those out as much as I can. I'm gonna add 1 egg. Okay, here we have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm gonna add this into 1.5 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. And then I have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna add that. And I'm gonna mix this together so that gets all incorporated. Okay. I've got 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna add that. Get that in here. Now, the trick to making a nice, chewy, fluffy cookie is adding your flour in increments. And you don't want to overwork the batter, meaning some people just keep beating while they're putting in. Some people dump all the flour in and then they just keep beating and beating and beating. That will produce more gluten and cause you to have a tougher product. I learned the hard way. My first semester in culinary school, didn't know about all of this. And my group, we beat our batter to death. And after we baked our cookies, they came out flat as a pancake. The taste and the flavor was there, but they did not look like a cookie. So from then on, and our teacher knew exactly what we had done wrong. So from that point on, I just add a little bit of flour. I get it incorporated. And this technique works even if you're using a stand mixer. Add a little bit, stir it in. Don't overwork it, then add more. Add a little bit. Get it all. Stir it a little bit. Because at the end, I'm going to make sure that everything is all incorporated and looking good. Now, this is a small batch. If you want to make more, then just double the recipe. And then once I get this all done and I get the chips and the macadamias in here, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes just to let it come together. Now, anytime you are adding like chocolate chips or bananas or nuts, those are called inclusions. And you always add your inclusions at the end. So we've got a 1/2 cup of white chocolate chips, and this is a 1/2 cup of macadamia nuts that I toasted. I wanted a little smokiness in these cookies. You do not have to do it. Toasting them is totally optional, but I wanted a little bit of a smoky back note, so I toasted these. And I'm gonna get the cookies and the chips all incorporated. Okay, after you get your nuts and your macadamia nuts and your chocolate all incorporated, it'll look something like that. Now I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let it hang out for about 10 minutes just so that all of those ingredients can kind of gel and come together. We'll scoop it up, put it on our cookie sheet, get them in the oven, and then I'll start the caramel. Now these are going to spread, so we're only going to put 4 on a sheet pan. So we're going to put those in on 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. Now I want these cookies to be a little crunchy because we're going to top them with ice cream and a caramel sauce. So I want them to be able to hold up to all of this stuff that's going to be layered on top of it. But definitely, if you want a softer cookie, just take them out a few minutes earlier. Now let's go check on AB and her caramel candy sauce here. Nope.
It's getting brown.
It's getting brown. It takes it a minute, but once it starts browning, it happens fast. Okay?
Maybe you need to turn the fire up.
It is. I turned it up.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Oh, what was I?
Are you being impatient?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, some things require patience, my dear.
Okay.
See, look, it's starting to turn.
Yeah,
see?
Yeah. Over here too.
So then once it gets a little browner, you're going to take your spatula and stir it so that it browns evenly. You see how fast the action is happening?
So I needed to stir it, don't I?
Not yet. Let's let it turn a little darker. Okay, now you can stir. You see that side over there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now step back and let it do its thing.
Don't I need to do my water now?
You can do your water if you want to get those little sugar crystals that's forming up there.
Oh, see, that's why I nearly like cooking. I don't like.
It's not gonna pop on you.
I don't like to get popped.
It's fine. You're fine. Okay.
Stir some more.
You're good. So here, you see how it's okay. Now we want to lift it and swirl it around. We're gonna turn the fire off because it's gonna continue cooking. And now you can start making your designs.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put that there. Okay. And you want to move kind of quickly because it's still cooking and it's browning.
Okay, set it back on my back.
And you don't want it to get bitter. Okay, while Aunt B is over there playing with sugar and water, making her, making the art that's going to go on top of our dessert here, I'm going to start our caramel sauce. I got this recipe from Pioneer Woman and I love it because it's really simple. I don't have to go. Now, what Aunt B is actually making is caramel. And if we weren't using that to make art, you could put it in a jar and put it away. I don't particularly like that technique to make caramel because it hardens. And I want something that's smooth and luscious because this is going to be a really sexy dessert, Aunt B.
Okay, sexy.
While I'm waiting on my brown sugar to melt, I'm going to put my cookie dough back in the refrigerator. Now I have 1 stick of brown sugar in here. I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of whipping cream. I've got 4 tablespoons of butter. And you can just dump it all in the pot together. I've got a tablespoon of vanilla. And here's my secret ingredient that I use in caramel. It's salted caramel. I'll show you. This is Jordan Skinny Syrup, but you can use any brand. But I just like the little added pop of flavor that this adds to caramel. And I've got just a pinch of salt. And that's it. And we're going to let this melt down, and it's going to turn into the most silky and luscious and delicious caramel.
I don't know about all that.
Oh, yes.
We have to wait and taste it.
Yes.
See what it tastes
Then
like.
we're going to add this to our bananas, add our rum in there, and set it on fire.
You gonna let me set it on fire?
You want to set it on fire?
Yeah, let me set it on fire.
As long as you don't set me on fire, we're okay. Look at you over there making candy art.
Yeah, girl. Don't be know what I'm doing.
This is actually a very quick dessert. The cookies only take about 15 minutes. The caramel, 5, if that. If you want to add a candy, some candy art, you can, but it's not necessary. You don't have to. So you can actually whip up this dessert in about 30 minutes. Wow, look at that.
Now what I do with it?
I love it. You're going to leave it there and it's going to harden. It's just
I don't have to put it in the refrigerator?
You don't have to. You can if you want to.
No,
but you don't have to.
I'll say.
I love it. Our cookies are out of the oven and they look wonderful. I wanted these a little crispy, like I said earlier, because they need to be able to stand up to the ice cream and the caramel and the bananas, all of that yummy goodness we're going to pile on top of them. But again, if you don't want your cookies, if you want them soft, a little more, less crispy, just take them out of the oven a few minutes early. So let's get ready to flambe some bananas.
All right.
All right, so we have our caramel together. I have some bananas here that I sliced up, and I added the little bit of lemon juice in them to keep them from turning brown. So we're going to add the bananas to our pan here. Now, if you're making this and you want to chop up your bananas, this is your dessert. You can do whatever you want to with it. I just decided to slice them up. We're going to put them in here. And then we've got our caramel sauce here. I'm going to pour this in here. Look at that. Look at that.
I can burn it now?
Not yet. not quite. And being actually anxious to set this on fire. So
just make sure your hair out of the way.
That's why I put my hair in a ball tonight. I did not want to risk any flames getting to my hair.
Be a Michael Jackson.
So the technique to flambe is adding alcohol to a hot pan. The alcohol needs to be at least 40% proof. It needs to have enough alcohol in it to work. So like rum extract won't work because it doesn't have enough alcohol in it. So we need to bring these to a simmer because the pan needs to be hot. So while we're waiting for it to heat up, I'm just going to baste the bananas a little bit. And then you want to light it on fire? Mm-hmm. You do?
Mm-hmm.
So what we'll do is I will pour the alcohol and then you set it on fire. Yes.
I'm going to be this far over now. You just get out of the way. Man, I'm ready. Ready, Mr. Freddie.
Okay, you ready?
Ready. It didn't do nothing. It's not burning, Sandy. Something's blowing it.
Hold on.
Oh, you got to have that technique, huh? Is that what you're trying to say?
I guess
Is that what you're trying to say?
Hey, what can I say? I'm sorry.
Okay.
There it is.
I don't have the technique.
There it is.
So how long you let that burn?
It's going to burn off. So it's burning off the alcohol. Once all of the alcohol is burned off, the flames will go out.
Oh, really?
So then once the alcohol burns off, we'll be able to taste this great flavor. You know, sometimes you go to a restaurant and you taste something and it's wonderful and you're trying to figure out what did they do? What did they put in it? Sometimes it's something as simple as flambeing it that can enhance the flavor of something.
Flambeing by burning it? Flambe
is adding alcohol to a hot pan and setting it on fire. See, all the fire's gone out. All the alcohol is burned out. Now, I use bananas. You can use apples. You can use peaches. Whatever kind of fruit you want to. Look at that. Look at that caramelization on those bananas. Okay, it's time to plate this up. We have our toasted macadamia white chocolate cookie. And I'm gonna put a little scoop of ice cream on top of that. And we're gonna, and B's candy art is amazing. Which one do you want to use?
It doesn't matter. I thought you don't put this on first.
We're gonna put our candy art in here. Which one?
It doesn't matter.
You want to use this one?
Okay.
Or this one?
That one first one's fine.
This one?
Yeah. Is that gonna work?
Look at that. Beautiful. I'll just do it like that on the side. Yes. Add some of this luscious cream caramel sauce.
That might look all right.
We're gonna add a few macadamia nuts on here.
That's sort of pretty.
And here we are.
That is sort of pretty.
Look at Aunt B's candy art. Isn't that? And look, it's an L. Her name is Lola B. She did that on purpose. Made an L for her initial. But this is our Flambe banana macadamia nut supreme dessert. You've got to try it. We're going to give it a taste now. Listen, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of the love, all of the support. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. And this is how we do it at Sandy's house. Of course, I want to thank my sidekick, my sous chef, my aunt, my heart.
The whole works.
The whole works. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, here we go. That is good. The banana is a nice combination with the macadamia nuts, the white chocolate. Not too sweet. Caramel, you can't even taste the rum.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. That was the main thing, the rum.